Hey everyone, I'm your host Natalie Bodie. On the show today is someone who made history as a wide receiver turned running back in Green Bay. He brought his all-around skill set to teams like the Saints and Patriots and built a career on adaptability, grit, and heart. Please welcome the one and only Ty Montgomery to the show. Okay, so I want to start with this. Your draft day in 2015. I just want you to take me through that day because I've heard some crazy draft day stories. And I think it's different for everyone. So what was yours like?
Yeah, mine was, it was bittersweet. I could have went in anywhere between the first and the third round. I wanted to be at home with my family, and my grandmother was sick at the time. And so they let her out of the hospital. We were at my parents' house and my dad's house in Murphy, Texas. And I got the call. It was towards the end of the third round. Family was super excited. And I'll never forget this. My aunt told me that after I got drafted, my grandmother, who had been praying for me my whole life, she leaned over and she said, "I'm good. I've seen what I needed to see." And about 15 days later, she passed away.
Really?
So it was this amazing moment, and it was bittersweet. But it was, I don't get sad when I hear that. I'm happy that she was able to see that because it was something she really wanted to see.
Wow. I mean, first of all, I'm sorry it happened that way, but the fact that sounds like her prayer was a big part in you even making it to that point.
No doubt.
And she acknowledged that too. Like for her to even say that. Were you there when she made that remark? Was it just to your other family members?
It was to an aunt of mine, and I didn't hear, but my aunt made sure that I knew about it because I was pretty sad. Grandmother meant a lot to me. I come from a big family. My mom's only child biologically, but I grew up with over 17 foster siblings, probably over 25 to be honest.
Wow.
And so a lot of people were there. So yeah.
Was she kind of like another mother figure to you in some ways?
In a way, I would say she was a safe place. Yeah.
I get that too. I have a ring with a D on it. My grandma's name was Diane, and she was like the same way to me. She was like another mom. So I can't imagine that. But at the same time, I feel like I'd have a sense of peace that she said that and she acknowledged it. Was there any special meaning to going to Green Bay for you? Did you know where you were going to end up? Was it totally random?
Totally random. I had no idea. I had no visits to Green Bay. I don't remember having any contact with Green Bay. And being a kid from Dallas, Texas, and then going to Stanford in California, the only thing I didn't want was to go somewhere cold. And I think I went to the coldest place I could have possibly went to. But the moment I got that call, it didn't even matter. Like it really didn't matter.
What is it actually like to live there? Because to your point, I grew up in Texas as well. It's a really small town though, far from Dallas, called Brenham. But again, it's very hot. I've only lived in warm places. The thought of moving to Green Bay in those winters, because even if you only live there during the season, it's right in that time where you're gonna have to figure out the snow. What was that actually like?
All right, I'm gonna take this moment to hype up Green Bay.
Okay, please do.
I think the state of Wisconsin is a hidden gem in itself. Lots of vacation spots. It's very beautiful in the spring and in the summer. The bit of spring that you get, because sometimes the winter bleeds over into spring. I think we had like 2.5, 3 feet of snow one time in like April or May. It was nuts.
No.
But the golf is amazing. The community is amazing. People are amazing there. And living there year round, your neighbors become like family because there's not much to do there, as you can imagine, besides watch the Green Bay Packers, go to a couple country music concerts, and hit up some bars every now and then. Other than that, you're going to church or you're hanging out at a friend's house. And so because of that, I made a lot of community off the team with my neighbors, and we would have fires. We would jump in the hot tub when it's 3 degrees below zero outside. That's why I started playing some hockey. We'd be playing Mario Kart, drinking games, the whole nine. Like it was a really fun atmosphere and a fun community.
That kind of sounds like Dallas is a little different, but growing up in Texas, a lot of what you just said resonated with me. Was it that same community feel in Dallas for you, or was it a little bit different being out in Wisconsin?
It's different. It's different just because
Slower?
It's slower in Green Bay, faster in Dallas. And there's so much to do in Dallas. Like you're gonna get out, you're gonna do something. The weather's better. Not too many people are gonna have consistent board game nights or just go to the bars and just hang out, have dinner, whatever it is. It's pretty low key, but it's a very humble environment. It's very, very peaceful.
I feel like you have to be open to that though, because a lot of people would probably want to stay in their NFL circle, kind of only hang out with those people. Was it easy for you to want to form other community, or was that something you learned as you matured and got older?
Honestly, it was easy for me. Maybe because I had such an eclectic childhood growing up. I went to a very affluent, prestigious private school. I grew up with over 17 plus foster siblings, so around the foster care system. I lived in, I can't tell you how many different houses, because I don't remember spending more than one Christmas in a house while I was growing up, because we moved so much. And so I was always the kid that some of my best friends outside of the team, because I had friends, on my sports teams, but I was a kid that would eat lunch with the nerd that no one liked, or no one thought they liked, or they never got the chance to know. It's funny because I actually caught up with an old high school classmate. We were in AP Bio together, and we were just talking about how difficult it was in high school sometimes, and so we resonated with that. So in terms of making friends outside of the team, like, I love that. I look forward to that. I love meeting new people. I love building relationships. I have a strong curiosity and interest in other people in general. I just think it's a way to give love.
So did you not find it kind of easy to make friends? Because when you're a star athlete, I feel like people want to talk to you. They want to be around you. That wasn't the case in high school?
No, it was easy to make friends, I guess you could say. Like, everybody wanted to be a friend, but in terms of like having those deep relationships and understanding who really wants to spend quality time with you, I guess I sort of learned, if that's a skill, like I learned that early. So like as I'm a professional athlete and I'm in Green Bay and I'm hanging out with my neighbors, I could kind of get a sense for like who thinks it's just cool to hang out with the young draft pick versus he hasn't asked me for anything. He's asking me my son's name. He wants to know my family's name. He wants to know, like, we don't even talk about football. And so it's easy for me to build relationships with people. It just takes effort.
It's a good skill to have, to be able to see through that. During that time, though, in your rookie season, you had a game where you had like 106 kickoff return yards. And I saw that in college you were kind of known for that too.
Yeah.
But was that a moment for you in the league where you thought, okay, I really can perform at this level? Or did you never have any doubt?
A little bit of both. Imposter syndrome is something that I think that has helped me be successful. I don't know if it's the equivalent of like Delulu being the Salulu, but
you must have some Gen Z kids, do you? Or you just know the brain rot lingo?
My wife is always on TikTok.
Makes it.
So, I always felt like I belonged. I always felt like I had something to prove, but there was always that little bit of me that felt like I didn't belong and I needed to prove it to myself. And I think that is one of the things that like pushed me into the obsessive, need to get better, need to stay disciplined, myopic focus, doing whatever it takes.
You changed positions also during your time in the league. I feel like that's not super common. Walk me through how that went down. Did the coaches suggest that? Was it the need of the team? How did that transpire?
It was a little bit of both. And I've always saw myself as playing multiple positions. It's funny because growing up, my mom never allowed me to, what do they call it now, specialize in a sport. Growing up in Texas, everybody played football and ran track. If you wanted to be a 5-star athlete, you wanted D1 scholarships, you played football and you ran track. My mom told me, no disrespect to any track athlete, but she said I'm too much of an athlete to run in a straight line. So she handed me a book on Jim Brown and said, read it. So I read it, found out he was a star lacrosse player at Syracuse, baseball, all the things that he did. And so I played football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and she let me run track my senior year. So playing football, I grew up playing running back, playing DB, doing all the things, and then having this servant mind. I always wanted to be the guy that's like, Coach, I'll do it. Like, I don't care if I'm the starting receiver. I'll go run down on kickoff and make the tackle. I'll play running back. So after coming off an injury, we were deep at receiver. They suggested it. I said, whatever you need me to do. And it stuck. And I became this hybrid player.
Did you like that? It sounds like you were adaptable, but like when it actually got down to it where you kind of like, I wish I could play this position instead of this one?
I loved it.
Really?
I loved it. It gave me an opportunity to really prove to myself, like, you know, what I was telling you about, what I can do, what I'm capable of, and show my value. And I wanted to be the receiver that no one thought could pick up an A-gap blitz from a 250-pound linebacker and then go out and do it and carry the ball 20 times inside zone in a full game and go out and do it and still go out and run routes and beat your starting DB or your starting nickel, whatever the case may be. I wanted to prove that and show that I could do that.
Shout out to your mom, too. To have that type of mindset and to hand you that book,
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy, because you actually brought up a memory in my head. I was thinking in my high school, because obviously in Texas, athletics are huge. Cortland Sutton's probably the most notable name that came out of my high school, but I was thinking, I think he played football, basketball, ran track, and maybe even did baseball for a while too. It's kind of a lost art of letting your kids do everything and not like play one thing all year and have a club team. Do you agree with that mindset? Like, would you push your kids in the direction to play everything if that came up on the table?
Absolutely. Everything. My son, he's baseball, swimming, tennis. He wants to get into golf, and he plays hockey now as well. He's 7. My daughter, you know, whatever she wants to do, I'm going to allow her to do that. And so I just fully believe in being a well-rounded person, whether that's in sports, in business, and character, relationships, it doesn't matter. Give yourself a chance to be the best person you can be. And I think if you're specializing too early, you don't allow yourself to really do that. And also some of these additive sports and skills actually help you be better in whatever it is you do want to specialize in eventually.
It's kind of some pressure too. If you just have one sport all the time, I think it can place too much emphasis. You had a game though against the Bears. You already know what I'm going to ask on, I'm sure, the 160-yard game. I saw some highlights from that also the other day, just in preparation for this. Take me through that game, the aftermath. You seem pretty even keel, but I'm sure you were like, people are going to talk about that one. That'll be brought up for a while.
That was definitely a game where I was like, okay, it's real now. No one can doubt it. No one can speak against it. Played the full game at running back. We ended up getting the win, so I felt like I brought value to the team from that aspect. And I was still learning at the time as well. I was still learning how to read defensive techniques. So a lot of it was run left, run right, react, do what you do, play fast. So I had a mentality of play fast, even make mistakes fast, because you never know what'll happen.
When you play against the Bears, there's a different mentality there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it means more. Can you feel that? Does the team emphasize that or not really?
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. There's definitely the Green Bay, Chicago rivalry. We talk about it all week, and it's important to the city to make sure we beat the Bears.
I think also, just an outside perspective, obviously I wouldn't know, but it seems as if in the NFL, it's a job. You're playing because you make money doing it. You understand it's a big stage. It can be probably a little hard to get up for games that are regular season games and not playoff games and things that have higher stakes. I'm sure that kind of helps. The rivalry games, you bring a little something different. Or did you feel like every week it was approaching it the same way?
Every week was approaching it the same way,
Really?
but there was definitely some extra juice when it was a rivalry game. At the end of the day, like, what we do is difficult, and I remind myself all the time, they get paid just like we get paid. And this game matters because later down the road, if you want to be a playoff team, you're going to look back at the division game, or you're going to look back at the regular season game that was a non-divisional opponent. I forget what Coach McCarthy called it, but an atypical opponent or something of that nature. And when it comes to wild card, those wins matter. And so I always looked at it that way.
So you went to the Ravens in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
What was that adjustment like for you?
It was difficult because it was in the middle of the season. I didn't want to get traded, understood the business of it. Go to the Ravens, and I'm like, I don't even know if this coach wants me here, but I'm here. I didn't want to leave, but I'm here. But it was an opportunity to engage with a new city, engage with new teammates, build new relationships. And that organization was, just top notch from top to bottom. The players there were amazing. Like, I got to catch up with Tony Jefferson not too long ago. He was there. Eric Weddle's a great teammate. Terrell Suggs. I mean, getting to play with those types of guys, Lamar Jackson, you name it, I mean, being a Dallas kid, I ended up on the same team as Michael Crabtree. Like
Crazy.
I can't be mad about that, right? But it was a fun experience, and I really enjoyed my time with the Ravens.
Shortly after that was the Jets.
It was the Jets, yeah.
How different, people talk about, the media in New York, the attention. How different is it really to be part of the Jets?
Oh, it's different.
You can feel it right away?
You can feel it right away. The New York media is no joke. I mean, that's where the NFL headquarters are. I remember taking a trip and getting to meet Roger Goodell. I hosted a radio show when I was in New York. The media in New York it's different.
Does it distract a little bit? Does it add more pressure? What does it really do when you talk about affecting you as a player?
I think it depends on the person. If you let it distract you and you care more about how you look in the media or on camera or what type of highlight reels you're gonna get or whatever the case may be, then yeah, it could probably get in your head a little bit. But if you just wake up every day and want to do your job, then the consequences will be good tape and good things said about you.
What's your favorite memory from your time in New York?
Oh man, on the field or off the field?
Either one.
I would say my favorite memory is probably the O-line dinners when I was in New York.
Oh, is that a tradition?
So it's a tradition for most positions to have different dinners: the running backs, receivers, the O-line, and like I told you, my background was so eclectic. I could hang out with anyone, and so I would go to the running back dinners, and then I became an honorary O-lineman for the O-line dinners, and I would pay my share when it was my turn to pay. But it's something special about that O-line group.
They had you at the O-line dinners. That's hilarious. What were those bills? I'm sure they had to be the highest, right?
They were pretty high, but I think sometimes they did a good job of picking places where it was pretty much capped out. It was kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That would definitely add up. After that, though, it was the Saints.
It was the Saints.
And that was the tail end of Drew Brees' career, or did you come right after he was done?
No, so I got Drew Brees' last year. That was my first year in New Orleans, yeah.
What was his impact like?
One of the best leaders that I've gotten a chance to play for. Between him and DeMario Davis, both of those guys are true leaders. But Drew, he commands a room when he walks in it, and he's a leader by example, and he's consistent with that as well. My favorite Drew Brees story is leaving practice. We had something called Fast Fridays, and I'm leaving practice on a Fast Friday. And
what's Fast Friday, by the way?
Fast Friday means the game plan is in, and if
Okay.
you screw it up on Friday, you're not getting that rep, or it's coming out of the game plan. And so by that point, everything's in, we're touching everything up. It needs to look perfect, it needs to look good.
Gotcha. So you're leaving that.
Leaving that practice, and Drew walks into the weight room. It's an all glass thing, and one of my teammates, Craig Robertson, he puts his arm around me. He says, "Look, I want to show you something. You've never seen anything like this before in your life." And he points, and he says, "What do you see right there?" I'm like, "No, that's Drew. Like, what is he doing?" He's like, "Let me tell you what he's doing. He does this." I'm pretty sure he said he does this like every Friday. I could be wrong, so I could be misspeaking, but he stands in the mirror, and for about 45 minutes to an hour, he just looks in the mirror and he's just swaying back and forth, and he's going through every play call, every check, every audible. What do we do? What do we change? And he's doing that mentally in his head, the entire game plan.
In front of the mirror.
In front of the mirror.
By himself.
By himself.
That's crazy.
And to me, like, that's the definition of preparation, leadership, wanting to be consistent, caring about the little things, and not being bored with monotony. Because I think, like, how many times do we as people, like, oh, I've read this email enough. Oh, I've done this enough times. I don't need to do that again. And it didn't matter how many times he did it. He was going to do that.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that. Wow. I mean, it makes sense. People like that, it's not an accident that they become great. So
not an accident, yeah.
Last stop was the Patriots.
Yes.
And Belichick, he was there during that time.
He was.
Older Belichick, though, what did you experience from him during that era?
So my first impression of Bill was he's not who you think he is, like, on TV. And I think some of his personality started to show them, like, when he left and he started doing some more interviews and podcasts and whatnot. But he's, like, really funny. Like,
really? Is it kind of older humor, like dad joke humor? Is it witty? What is it?
It's witty. Like, you can tell he's a really smart guy. But he like cracks jokes, and he's gonna like tell you that you suck in like this funny way where it's like, oh crap, like that was terrible. And he calls you out in front of the whole team, but like he cracks a smile when he does it. So it's like he knows he's being funny, which is something that I appreciate about him.
I just can't. I went to UNC where he's coaching now, and it's already the media attention. Things look very different. We sold out for the whole season. I'm sure College Game Day will go there week 1. Yep. Can you imagine him coaching at a collegiate level, or did that surprise you when you first heard about it?
It surprised me a little bit, but at the same time, like I could see him coaching at a collegiate level because the way he coached us, I think it does translate, and I think it could be good for younger players to be coached that way and to learn how to do your job, do it the right way, and this is the only thing that matters. And don't let what you can't do keep you from doing what you can. I think that's going to benefit younger players, to be honest.
Hearing about what you're up to now, which we'll get into, when it was time to step away from the NFL, is it something that you had peace with? Is it something that you had prepared for? What did that look like for you?
Was not prepared, but had peace. I wanted an extra couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years, but it happened so abruptly. But I had peace, and I was ready to step into the next thing. And looking back on it, I don't think I would have changed my decision. I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be. There was a moment during my last season where I said, I'm not getting paid to do what I truly want to do in my heart. I love football. I love playing football. I want to continue to get paid playing football. But my heart's desire is to serve other people. And I see football as a way to serve my teammates, but stewarding relationships, serving people, bringing value to other people, that didn't seem like the business of football.
Are you a really religious person?
I am. Yeah.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
The way I hear you speak, it's definitely through, I am as well, it's through a Christian lens, which just throughout the whole interview, I feel like you have a lot of maturity and perspective. Is that something, and I'm sure it's a combination, is it specific to your upbringing? Is it specific to your religion? What do you think granted you that sense of maturity? Because other people, they don't see life the same way. They don't speak about it the same way.
I would say both. Train up a child, in the way that they should go. But then it's up to that child to make the decision for themselves. Mm-hmm. There is an age of accountability that the Bible speaks about. And so I had to come to terms with my own faith. It was questioned. It was challenged. I would spend hours reading, asking questions. Why is there, why does the Jewish faith believe in this part of the Bible, but not this part of the Bible? What is it about the Muslim faith, this and that? And so with respect to all religions and all faith, I came to my submission to Christ, on my own, but I was introduced to it because of my upbringing. And so I think it's important for all of us to really challenge that and come to those conclusions themselves.
What was your faith like while you were in the NFL?
Challenged a lot. You're seeing a lot. A lot's happening. It's happening fast, and you're living a life that's not normal. But it's the only life you know, so at times it seems normal. You go from college to drafted. I considered a high round pick in the 3rd round, and you're making a decent amount of money, and so this feels normal. And so you don't really know what's abnormal, but the amount of temptation, the amount of challenges to your faith and your values and your thoughts and what you think about life and being exposed to things, it really gets you out of that. I don't know how to explain it, but it opens up the world to you and makes you think like, okay, what does this really mean? Like, what does it really mean to be a Christian and to love God's people? Because I've never seen anyone think this way or do this before. And there has to be something wrong with the way I'm interpreting the Bible and not with the Bible that has me thinking a certain way about this person. So I've got to check myself, and I've got to go back into the Word.
Did you see Scotty Scheffler's press conference where he gave a long answer basically about fulfillment and winning majors? Did you see that?
I have not seen it, but that's on my list to watch. You're the 3rd person to tell me about it.
Yeah, well, just because I think from what I gathered, and I think there were excerpts taken that didn't mention religion, but essentially what it boils down to, the TLDR, is he's gotten so used to winning, and he used to think that would make him happy. But because he's a man of faith, it's really religion that provides him fulfillment. And I think it's interesting to see someone at the height of their career make that remark. Now, is golf as comparable as being at the peak of the NBA or the NFL? In some ways, maybe,
Debatable.
but in other ways, it's not. I think that because of the money and the attention and the nature of the sport and it being a team sport, it's different in other leagues and you're exposed to more. But for an athlete to say that and have that realization at that point in his career, were you thinking this way during your time in the league? Were these conversations you were having mentally in the middle of it, or did they come after upon reflection?
Some mentally in the middle, some after. I had to learn a lot. I struggled with identity while playing, and now it's like my mission to like help others, now that I'm out of it and I can zoom out and I can see it. But when I was in it, a lot of my value came from what I could do on the field. Being good enough at football got me a scholarship to play at Stanford. Being good enough at football got me drafted. Being good enough at football got people to like me. Being good enough at football kept me paid. So when you no longer have football or you're no longer seen as good enough, what is there to really bring relativity and context to your life? And so you try to find it, and even in the religion you're trying to find it, and in my faith I'm trying to find it, but I never stopped to consider, am I good enough outside of football?
That's deep. What do you think football taught you about business? Because we discussed before you're involved in venture capital now. It's evident your education, the way you speak about things. I can just see you being a multi-dimensional person. I'm sure you were thinking about other plans before it happened, but what did you take from the league and transition into business?
Relationships are super important, no matter the business. Relationship capital is probably the most valuable capital you can have. You can fail at a business and someone can believe in you enough to recapitalize you and invest in you and allow you to do it again. That only comes from having relationships. Discipline is a key factor in business. Being able to have a myopic focus, being able to be a part of a team, collaborate, understand the difference between competition and collaboration, and how to have that within your team to grow the level of your team, right? Like you want your team to be better, and that only happens when you're competing with each other, but you have to know how to collaborate. It can't be this divisive competitiveness or destructive competitiveness. But then when you're competing against others in your field and in your industry, it's all about, the team, having discipline, doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it has to be done, and doing it that way all the time. I think it was John Maxwell's book, the 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. One of those laws is the law of the chain, and which simply states, summed up, the weak link of the chain drops the value of the chain significantly, and the other team members will begin to resent them if they don't pick that up. And we talk about in football doing your 1/11th, and it's summed up in a math problem. 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. 10 times 10 times 5 is 500. So one person halfway doing their job cuts the strength of the chain in half. Having those things and being brought up in that environment and thinking that way all the time and contributing to the highest level of teamwork in a professional sport where you're considered the 1% of the 1%, that carries over into business. And any professional athlete has exactly what it takes to be successful in business because of everything it takes for one person to learn how to do something at an extremely high level.
Very well said. Also, just a dumb question. I hear the term venture capital. Mm-hmm. It's kind of ambiguous. What does it really look like if you're a venture capitalist? Because it probably can mean a lot of different things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on who you
have such an eloquent statement, and then I just followed up with so what is this really?
That's actually not a dumb question. I think that's a great question because it depends on who you ask. And
what does it look like for you?
For me, because of the opportunities that come along with venture, it looks like more than just investing into startups and finding unicorns, investing into the next Uber and turning 100,000 into 200 million, right? I think it looks beyond that. There's multiple different ventures. We're all on a venture. We're all on a journey. We're all trying to go somewhere. We're all trying to do something. We're all trying to build something. And then when there's capital, there's more than financial capital. There's relational capital. There's social capital, there's economic capital, just whatever it is, right? And all of that is value that is part of an ecosystem. And I think the venture capital ecosystem plays a big role in having positive impacts on the world, because jobs are created, ideas are poured into, and seeds are planted, and it's so many things happen, and you learn so much about business, where you hear about people working in portfolio companies and startups, and then from there they go out and they then start their own company because they have experience of seeing what that's like. And then you hear other stories where someone's working in this massive corporation, maybe publicly traded already, and it's just a 9 to 5 and they don't see a way up or a way out. But in the venture ecosystem, the idea of creating ideas, building relationships, sowing seeds, watering seeds, that's the venture ecosystem. It's more than just investing dollars into a company and how much money can you make.
Is that what's bringing you fulfillment now?
Absolutely, 1,000%. I always say I'm here to serve, and being in venture, like, what can I do to help? Is there someone I can intro you to? Is there something you're working on that I can support? Is there something that I can do that's hands-on to help you do that? And building an ecosystem of those type of like-minded people. I mean, that's why I love the firm that I work at now, Next Legacy Partners. That's what we're all about, relationships over transactions.
I love it. I'm going to end with this. Favorite memory of your NFL career, what would it be? Could be on or off the field, but during that time frame.
Yeah. Oh, man, there's so many to choose from. And then you said on or off the field.
We can restrict it to, would on the field be easier? We can restrict it to that.
Probably my first touchdown. I think it was a Monday night game against Kansas City. What's funny is I actually lost the rep. I got strapped, but I adjusted because I caught A-Rod's eyes, and it turned into a slant return, and I was wide open. I think I was young, so I don't know. It seemed like after that, we put that into the playbook, like, oh, that was a great route. That was really smart, But that's a great memory for me, because it was my first NFL touchdown. Since the age of 7, all I wanted to do was play in the NFL. My mom created an email, Ty Pro, one day, and I just scored a touchdown and did a Lambeau leap. Like, this is amazing.
Might have invented a play.
And might have even invented a play, It sounds crazy saying that because it's such a basic route. Everyone has it now, so probably not. But I just know that wasn't the route that I was supposed to run. I know that. And then my son was born during my playing career.
Wow.
In Green Bay as well. So that was a very memorable moment. I'll never forget that.
Was your mom intentional with planting seeds like that? Is that her personality? Do you think that she had a goal of getting you to believe in yourself?
Yeah, my mom is very get the job done. How can this be better? What else can you do type of mentality. And so when I was younger, it felt like, geez, I can't do anything right. But now that I'm older, I understand that my mom just has a growth mindset of accept your wins, celebrate your wins, but don't be complacent. There's more work to be done.
Shout out to your mom. What's her name?
Lisa.
Shout out to Lisa. You have to give a shout out to Lisa. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.